Throughout history, perhaps in every generation, there has been a few men who have not been content with knowing God from a distance. They have persisted in drawing near to God, pressing on and seeking Him until He has revealed Himself to them in extraordinary ways. He has opened Himself up to them and allowed them glimpses of the very core of His being. Even among these extraordinary men, there are some who stand out, who know God's heart more intimately than anyone else. I won't speculate in who is at the top of God's list, but Abraham, the man known as the father of faith, certainly is high up there. But how does a man come to know God in such an intimate way? For Abraham, a major turning point was in Genesis 22. Here God makes an audacious request of him. He says, "Take your son, your only son whom you love, and take him to Moriah and sacrifice him as a burnt offering to me. This is the son of promise, the one through whom God had promised Abraham he'd become the father of a people greater in number than the stars in the sky. This is the son Abraham previously failed to trust God for by arranging for Eliezer from Damascus to inherit him, or later by trying to bring about his son through his sin with Hagar. Now is Abraham's time of testing, and if he would trust God to be sovereign to keep his promise, then God would let him in on his deepest, most intimate secret. And Abraham wouldn't only know it as a fact, but he would share in God's experience of it. You see, God allowed Abraham a glimpse into what would happen on what is commonly believed to be that very same hill some 1900 years later, when God would sacrifice His only Son, whom He loved, as an offering not for His own sins, because He had none, but for ours, for the sins of the world. Abraham must have had plenty of time to explore the different facets of God's father heart during his 3-day journey to Moriah, or in building the altar and tying his precious son to it and lifting that dagger above his head. And as Abraham was getting ready to bear the burden of sin on himself, God stopped him. He provided a sacrifice Himself, a ram foreshadowing Jesus Christ, the Son of God, whose blood was shed for the forgiveness of Abraham's sins and of mine. Abraham lived the rest of his life believing in this promised sacrifice. After him, millions have believed it, both from the perspective of looking forward to it as a prophecy and looking back to it as an historic event. But I dare to say that few have known God's heart in giving His Son as intimately as Abraham has. And some people are simply clueless.
The bottom line for me is God's action here was immoral in the extreme, or else it never happened, which calls into serious question the reliability of biblical accounts.
And there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of interesting moral lessons there, right? The moral lesson from the Bible is, if God tells you to do something and it involves killing your kid, listen to God. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you love your kid or love humanity or that it's wrong to kill someone. Go and obey God. That's the moral lesson there, right?
Here in this situation, God decides to test one of His followers by telling him to offer up his own son on an altar as if it's some animal. This is weird, given that He was omniscient.
Throughout history, we're on the wrong page. Seeking Him until He has revealed Himself to them in extraordinary ways. Oh, I messed that one up.
Yes, you did.
I messed that one up.
I didn't mess it up.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Ready, teleprompter?
Okay, let's go.
Throughout history, don't laugh. You're ruining it.
I can't help it.
You're the worst teleprompter ever.
I won't laugh. Okay, go. You.
Hey.
Hey, he's cheating.
No. I'm not cheating. I'm not cheating.
Nope.
This is my serious face.
You don't have a serious face.
I have a serious face.
I know.
This is it.
You have a funny face. It's your normal face. Ready? Set. Go.
I'll cut this away. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.